The Crimean War, often overlooked, took place from 1853 to 1856. Its impact was profound, shaping modern warfare and redrawing Europe's political map. This war was a clash of empires, ideologies, and new technologies. Major European powers were involved, Russia on one side, and an alliance of the Ottoman Empire, Britain, France, and later Sardinia on the other. The most famous front was the Crimean Peninsula in the Black Sea. The reasons for the war were complex, involving religion, imperial ambitions, and fear of Russian power. The Crimean War introduced elements we see in modern conflicts. Newspaper correspondents reported directly from the front lines for the first time, bringing the horrors of war to the public. Photography also made its wartime debut, capturing stark images. Medical care for soldiers was shockingly poor, leading to figures like Florence Nightingale demanding reforms. These changes had lasting effects on military medical practices worldwide. This essay will explore the Crimean War in detail. We will look at the political climate that led to it. We will examine the imperialistic motives of the key players. The religious tensions used as a pretext will be discussed. Major battles and significant events like the famous Charge of the Light Brigade will be highlighted. Finally, we will consider the war's lasting influence. It changed how wars were fought. It also altered the balance of power in Europe and set the stage for future conflicts. Europe in the 1850s was a continent of simmering tensions. The old order, established after the Napoleonic Wars, was under strain. Nationalism was rising, and great powers were vying for influence. The Ottoman Empire, once vast and powerful, was seen as the sick man of Europe. Its decline created a power vacuum, especially in the Balkans and the Near East. Russia, under Tsar Nicholas I, had significant imperial ambitions. The Tsar saw Russia as the protector of Orthodox Christians within the Ottoman Empire. He also desired control over Constantinople and access to the Mediterranean Sea. Russian expansionism was a major concern for other European powers. Britain, a global maritime power, was wary of any Russian expansion that could threaten its routes to India. Control of the eastern Mediterranean was vital for British interests. France, under Napoleon III, sought to restore French prestige and break free from diplomatic isolation. Napoleon III positioned himself as a defender of Catholic rights in the Holy Land, challenging Russia's claims. France saw an opportunity to curb Russian influence. An alliance with Britain against Russia served these French goals well. The immediate trigger for the Crimean War was a religious dispute over holy places in Jerusalem and Palestine. Orthodox and Catholic monks vied for control over key Christian shrines. In the early 1850s, France, under Napoleon III, aggressively pushed for Catholic rights. Napoleon III wanted to assert French influence in the Ottoman Empire. He pressured the Sultan to grant French-backed Latin monks greater control over the holy places. This move challenged the long-standing privileges of the Orthodox monks. Russia, as the traditional protector of Orthodox Christians, felt compelled to respond. Tsar Nicholas I saw this as an affront to Russian prestige. The Tsar sent an envoy, Prince Menshikov, to Constantinople with strong demands. Menshikov demanded the restoration of Orthodox rights and formal recognition of Russia as the protector of all Orthodox subjects within the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman government, with British and French encouragement, rejected Russia's sweeping demands. This diplomatic impasse escalated tensions rapidly. Russia's miscalculation pushed Europe closer to war. Following the diplomatic breakdown, Russia took military action. In July 1853, Russian troops occupied the Danubian Principalities, now part of Romania. The Ottoman Empire viewed it as an invasion. The Ottoman Empire, feeling emboldened by potential Western support, declared war on Russia in October 1853. Fighting soon broke out along the Danube River. The Ottoman forces fought effectively against the Russians in this initial phase. Meanwhile, the British and French fleets moved into the Aegean Sea, signaling their support for the Ottomans. Diplomatic efforts to find a peaceful solution failed. In November 1853, the Russian Black Sea Fleet destroyed an Ottoman squadron at the Battle of Sinope. This battle was a decisive Russian victory but was portrayed in the British and French press as a massacre. Public opinion in Britain and France became strongly anti-Russian. In March 1854, Britain and France formally declared war on Russia. The war was no longer a regional conflict, it had become a major European war. The main Allied objective became the Russian naval base of Sevastopol in Crimea. Hostilities occurred elsewhere, demonstrating the global reach of the involved powers. The war had expanded from the Danube to distant seas. The main focus of the Allied war effort soon shifted to the Crimean Peninsula. The primary target was the heavily fortified Russian naval base of Sevastopol. In September 1854, British, French, and Ottoman troops landed in Crimea. They aimed for a swift victory, but the campaign turned into a long and brutal siege. Several major battles were fought in the Crimea. The Battle of Alma was an Allied victory, opening the way towards Sevastopol. However, the Allies hesitated to assault the city directly, allowing the Russians to strengthen their defenses. The siege of Sevastopol began, lasting almost a year. The fighting was characterized by trench warfare, artillery duels, and bloody assaults on fortifications. Disease, particularly cholera and dysentery, killed more soldiers than combat. The Battle of Balaclava in October 1854 became legendary for the ill-fated charge of the Light Brigade. A British cavalry unit charged directly into a well-defended Russian artillery position, suffering terrible casualties. This event was immortalized in a poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Another major engagement was the Battle of Inkerman in November 1854, an Allied victory. The war in Crimea exposed severe logistical and medical failings on all sides. Reports from war correspondents like William Howard Russell have shocked the public. This led to public outcry and government changes in Britain. It also spurred the pioneering nursing work of Florence Nightingale and Mary Seacole. They worked to improve sanitation and care for the wounded, saving many lives. After nearly a year of brutal siege, Sevastopol fell to the Allies in September 1855. The capture of this key naval base was a major blow to Russia. Tsar Nicholas I had died in March 1855, and his successor, Alexander II, sought peace. The war officially ended with the Treaty of Paris, signed in March 1856. The treaty had significant consequences for the balance of power in Europe. It aimed to preserve the integrity of the Ottoman Empire. The Treaty of Paris declared the Black Sea a neutral territory, closed to all warships. Russian naval power in the region was severely curtailed. Russia also had to give up its claim to be the sole protector of Christians in the Ottoman Empire. The Danubian principalities were returned to Ottoman suzerainty but given greater autonomy. The treaty temporarily halted Russian expansion southwards. The Crimean War had a profound impact on military affairs. The high casualties and logistical failures led to widespread military reforms. Armies began to pay more attention to training, supply lines, and medical services. The war saw the first large-scale use of rifled muskets, steam-powered warships, and the telegraph. These advancements foreshadowed future industrial-scale warfare. War correspondence and photography changed public perception of war. The Crimean War shattered the concert of Europe, creating new rivalries and alignments. Though often forgotten, the Crimean War was a pivotal conflict, reshaping the political landscape of Europe and the world.